Welcome again to Let's Talk Etiquette here on CANTV Chicago. We are so pleased to be back on CANTV. And my name is Nathan Wright, and I'm an etiquette maven. If you aren't familiar with what that word means, just look it up in the dictionary. But I've been at this for more than 20 years, and I have a good sense of what the word etiquette means. And so we are here to share some of that great information with you regarding this very unused but very important word called etiquette. You won't hear it on your regular TVs. I'm sure you don't really hear it in any conversations whatsoever. But we are fortunate enough to be here to re-educate this society on the importance of etiquette. Now, to make it simple for you to understand, etiquette is simply a set of social and moral rules. I'll say it again, social and moral rules. In essence, etiquette is founded on civilization. Once humans created civilization, it was necessary to create a set of rules of behavior that allowed the people of that civilization to coexist in peace and in harmony. And so that's why etiquette is critical to who you are and what the society you live in is all about. Because if that's not understood, then how can you be civilized? You really can't be civilized because you haven't been taught etiquette. You haven't been taught civility. And so that's an essential, absolutely necessary lesson in life and lesson in who you are. And that lesson should be taught at every level, from your home to your school, in your church, even in your place of business. Because what is it designed to do? To make it possible for us to live together and interact with one another in a very polite, courteous manner. And when you exercise those values in your behavior, you are successful, far more successful than you would be otherwise. Because these rules are important. They are essential to who you are and to what your society is all about. And when they are not there, then you won't have the kind of comfort and peace of mind that you deserve as a citizen. Okay, citizen, meaning you are part of a collective group of people who are operating on the same social values. And if those values are in conflict, then you have conflict. If you don't know your place and your obligations and the rules of the society you live in, then you're going to have more conflict, more misunderstandings, more disagreements, because you don't understand what your role is. And the person you're interacting with do not understand what their role is. And so it's all about what I think it should be, or what I think I must act in a certain manner, because I don't know really what my role is, because I haven't been taught the rules. The rules of the game is no different from the game of sports. In order to play basketball, you have to learn the rules, and you have to adhere to those rules if you want to be successful at golf, at tennis, or any other discipline that requires a set of rules in order for you to play the game. You can't play the game if you don't know the rules. That's just that simple. And society works the same way. You have to know the rules in order to play the game. Now, the real game, the most important game, is this game. This game. Okay? The great game. This is from birth to death game. And if you don't know how to play this game as successful as you would know in terms of playing basketball or any other sports, then you are helpless. You're defenseless. You do not know what this society is structured on? It's structured on etiquette. It's structured on a set of rules that each and every citizen is obligated to adhere to. But if the citizen is not taught those rules, then the citizen is socially ignorant. Socially ignorant. And when you're socially ignorant, you can't play any game successfully. You definitely can't play sports if you're ignorant of the rules. You can't play golf if you're ignorant of the rules. So you need to learn the rules of how to conduct yourself, how to present yourself in public, and understand why those rules are important for the entire society to adhere to. And if they don't adhere to them, then you have disagreements. You have conflict. And you see it every day. We're in serious, serious trouble in this country. And you see the escalation of the strife and the arguments and the disputes and the violence and the disrespect. And all of that is going to continue. It's going to get worse because our people, especially our young people, haven't learned to understand what it is to respect other people's property that they own. And yet you want to go and violate their right to own it and take it from them. What type of society is teaching you to do that? Ask yourself, what kind of society is allowing our children to grow up and have that kind of heathenous, criminal behavior and think that it's okay to do those things to other people? You see, we can't have civilization unless we're going to behave in a civilized manner. And that's the first lesson that should be taught, starting in the home and from the home into the school. The most important lesson is etiquette in the schools. How to conduct yourself, how to be respectful, how to have good manners, how to be polite. Those are good, great, solid rules that has to be exercised in everything you do on a daily basis. But first you have to know the rules and understand the importance of what it is to be polite or what it is to apologize. Those are simple things, but you don't know them, therefore you can't practice them. Because the schools do not want you to know them. If they did, they would be teaching it to you. I wouldn't have to be saying it. They would be teaching. That would be the first lesson. You can't teach a group of 20 or 25 children, and if they don't have a sense of what their role is in the classroom. We all have a role. And within that role is our etiquette manners. If we're a child, then we have to show respect to our elders. Okay? So there's a role for each of us to play. If I'm a student, my role is that of a student. If I'm the teacher, my role is that of the teacher. If I work in the cafeteria in the school and I'm serving lunch, my role is that as someone in the cafeteria serving lunch. That's my role. And see, we all have a role in society. And you need to know your etiquette relative to your role. And if you aren't taught that, then you're confused. You're apt to do anything that comes into your head because you think you can do it just simply because you're you. And you don't care about what other people think or how they feel or what you're doing to disrespect them. But it's happening every day. And you want to know what is going on. We're going crazy? Are we actually going crazy? You see it on the TV. You know, young men with guns and shooting at. One of my mentees was shot. He was in the hospital. One of my mentees were murdered. That's dead because of someone who wanted to disrespect his wife. You see, so that's why we have the violence. 90% of the violence is based on disrespect. And if a person disrespects another, they don't respect themselves. And this is what etiquette teaches you, how to have self-respect. If you don't have that, then who are you? What are you about? And what are you trying to accomplish with your life if you don't have self-respect? If you don't have self-respect, you can't respect your fellow human being. And so etiquette is critical. We're at a serious stage in our society at this time in our history. And I haven't seen it get as worse as it's getting now. And it's being looked over and disregarded like it doesn't mean anything anymore. But it's a lesson that our young people are learning when they watch that TV set or that social media, and they're giving them all kinds of confusing, crazy, uncivilized kinds of way of behaving, and they're popularizing it. So here's your child looking at that, and then you trying to teach them that is not correct, that's impolite, but they don't care. The people on the TV don't care. They don't care what your child learns. And then they want to say, oh, why are those young people raiding the store and snatching purses and attacking people on the street and just give them a gun and some drugs and they're out of their mind. Give them drugs and a gun and you're going to get somebody killed or shot. And it's happening every day all over this country, not just in Chicago. It's happening all over the country. You give him a gun, he's 15 years old, and you give him some marijuana that may be laced with whatever, that child is out of his mind. And he has a gun. A gun. Boom! Without any question. You looked at me the wrong way. I didn't like how you looked at me. And I shot him because he looked at me the wrong way. You see, so those are the values that is being propagated on our TV sets and on the social media. That you're God with a gun. And you can take another person's life because he didn't look at you the right way. You see, that's where we at in this society. And that's sad. That's tragic. And so what we do at the Etiquette Foundation, I'm going to go over a few basic things we do at the Etiquette Foundation. These are rules we believe in and that we feel is important for us as a society to follow. Now, I'm hoping that you can read that. That's up there on the overhead. But I'm going to read them from where I'm at. It says, etiquette, the missing link in public education. This is more important than math, science, English, okay, history. This is more important because this sets the stage for what type of human being you're creating as a citizen. And that's fundamental to their humanity. Math is not, English is not. It's how they conduct themselves as a human being. That's the most important lesson. So the curriculum, a curriculum for social responsibility. We provide a curriculum that teaches social responsibility. You have a part to play in society, but it has to be a social responsible role that you play in society. The social and moral foundation of civil society, knowing right from wrong. If you aren't teaching that, who are they and what are you producing that you say that you're educating? The rules of etiquette, the social relations and responsibility. Basketball has a set of rules. There's a social relationship to those rules, as well as there are responsibilities in those rules, to those rules. Play fairly. Don't push somebody out of bounds just to, get them to turn the ball over. Don't try to trip somebody just so they can turn the ball over and you can win the game. Don't play unfair. If you're going to play unfair, you're not really playing the game like you should play the game. Okay, the rules governing the social order. See, society works based on what we call a social order. In other words, order in society is created by each of its citizens. Your role as a citizen is based on you conducting yourself in such a way that you don't interfere or infringe upon any other person. And that means you don't disrespect them or do anything that may be in violation of their rights as a citizen. That's what we're talking about with the rules governing the social order, society, and the rules governing social decency. There are certain things you just don't do in a society of rules of behavior. You don't just throw a bottle on the ground and break it just for the hell of it, or garbage out of your car window. You don't do those things because that's not part of your social responsibilities as a citizen. Okay? So those are things we teach so that the child would know what is required of them in society as a child or as an adult. We have rules that dictates what we should do and how we should do it. And it's no different from any other discipline. Math has discipline. The English language has discipline that you have to learn and to use. Every part of your life has a set of rules regarding how you should conduct yourself or should behave. The marriage, a social and legal contract between a man and a woman. The family, producing children. That used to be a time when before a woman and a man would decide to have children, they would get married. Okay? And she would get pregnant after they were married. Now they get pregnant and then maybe they get married. Okay? And so you're turning the social order upside down. And as a reason for the relationship to be based on a marriage and then children, where children will have a father and a mother to help raise them. Your male children are going to look at their father as a role model. You are a role model to your male children as well as to your female children. And the way you conduct yourself as a male relates to how they're going to see manhood in their future. Your children, be it male, he's going to emulate you. Your daughter's going to see you as the future man she may want to fall in love with and marry because her father has conducted himself in such a way that is respectful to their mother. You see, so those rules are important. As civilization, which is based on the family, you wouldn't have civilization unless you had the family, and the family exists using a set of rules that are critical to how the society functions. Okay, family as nurturer and teacher. Both parents are nurturers and teachers, and you have a serious responsibility to do both. Do not do anything in front of your children that's disrespectful to you and to them, that teaches them the wrong values. Don't argue and fight in front of them, okay? You want to always show that you and your wife are harmonious and have a great relationship in front of your children, because you want them to see what a good family life, a good marriage should be. And you are the role models, and you should be representing that. Family as a unit of society. The foundation of society is the family. There's no other set of foundation beyond the family. Everything you see is based on the family. And we should respect and hold the family in highest esteem. But the family has an obligation as well, is to present themselves in a dignified, respectful way in the community. Okay? The economics of anti-etiquette behavior, and we see that. The prisons are full of young men and young women who did not understand that they have to pay a price to be in this society. It's not a free society. You have to labor. You have to contribute. And therefore, you are part of what makes the society function. When you are not doing those things, then the society incarcerates you. and therefore someone else is making a living on you being incarcerated. The judge is making a living on the fact that you violated some of the rules of society. You see, so the society has a way of protecting itself, but unfortunately, our jails is full. We don't have no more room for more people to be incarcerated. Okay? So we have to change our education. We have to teach our parents how to be parents. We have to teach our boys how to be fathers. You know, being a father starts when you're 9, 10 years old. You need to learn what it is to be a father and what your responsibilities are as a man. If you don't have a set of rules governing that, then who are you? You may be a male, but are you a man? Okay? So that's a sense of where we are in terms of a foundation in this community, the Etiquette Foundation of Illinois. Go to our website, www.efoi.org. Go there, see what we are really all about, and understand that this is part of why we are doing this, to improve society, to remind society that there are a set of rules that are important in terms of the health of the society. We are a sick society right now, emotionally ill. And this is why you see what you see, and it should abhor you. You should be just, can you believe it? I don't watch that much TV because it's so hard to watch. It's so difficult to see the things you see on it and not be traumatized by it. And try to understand why people are doing what they're doing and what is the justification of it. And we only have ourselves to blame. And this is why you will not hear the word etiquette. You can go a whole month watching TV and on the social media, and you will never hear that word said one time. And it's intentional. It's intentional. I didn't create the word. Okay, we didn't create the rules. This is their rules. The ones who created the society. The ones who wrote the book on what it is to be a civilization. They created these rules. They're great rules. They're wonderful rules. They're important rules. But we don't think they're worth learning. Now, how do you put those two things together? You have a set of rules that governs the entire society of how I am to behave and how you are to behave, but you aren't teaching it to anyone. Why? Explain that to me. Don't tell me about you teaching me math. Okay? Or you teaching me English. Okay? So what does that mean? The foundation of all of it is based on my behavior and how I see myself in society. How do I contribute to society? What is my goals and objectives in society? Okay? So that's more important than me learning how to do math. Although math is an important subject, I'm not dismissing it in any way. But math plays one little role in your life. Okay? Etiquette plays the entire existence of your life, from birth to death, is what etiquette represents every day. Every conscious moment is about who you are. And you know who you are based on your set of values. And your set of values is based on what the society says those values should represent. Now, you writing your own book of etiquette? Sure, go ahead. But there's an established set of rules that the society is built on. You know, how to be polite. How to say thank you. Or please may I. Okay, I mean, I didn't invent those values. But I do understand why they're needed. To say thank you. Or please may I. Or you're welcome. Why do we say those things? What's the purpose of it if they don't have any meaning? Explain that to me. Why are we saying these things if they don't mean anything? Okay? When I see my neighbor, I wave. Okay? And I may have a conversation with him or with her. How are you today, Miss Jones? Oh, that's good to hear. Oh, your son? Oh, he got that promotion. How wonderful. He's a great young man. I'm really proud of him and how well he's been raised. Why am I saying that to her? Why am I telling her those things? First, because I believe it and I mean it. And I want to elevate her to a higher level because of the success she's had with her child. I want her to know that she has done something special, something really special, because her child is now a contributor, not to the negative side of society. He's not raiding a store downtown. That's not what her son is doing. She's proud of him because of her success as a parent. And I'm a parent. Okay, so I understand how important that is for her to be celebrated, for her to be congratulated, for her to be praised in her success with her son because he doesn't have a gun in his hand, killing somebody. Okay? So that's what I say to her because it's important to let her know that I'm validating what she has succeeded and been successful with in educating her son to be a great man, to be a contributor to society, to build a great family, and to raise great children. That's what it's all about. If it's not about that, then why are we in this system? If it doesn't mean that we have a role to play to contribute towards his health, spiritually, intellectually, and culturally. That's what our role is, to contribute on that level and to take advantage of the opportunity to do it in every situation. That's what it means to be humane. That's what it means to be about etiquette and about the values of etiquette. And you show them in your own behavior. I step aside when I'm walking on the sidewalk and a lady comes down my way. I don't force her to walk around me. Okay? If I'm on the bus and I see a lady that doesn't have a seat, I offer her my seat. Or if I'm going in the store and then the lady's following me, I hold the door open for her. But that's showing respect to her. Because I show respect to all ladies, because I show respect to my mother. And I tell my young men, if you love your mother, you must respect all women. There's no exception. Don't tell me about you love your mother and you calling your girlfriend a B. Okay? She's a woman. And she's no different from your mother. And if you have children with her, how are you going to violate her essence as a female? You wouldn't do that to your mother, so why are you doing it to her? Don't make any sense. But we see it every day. And that's because our men, as boys, were not taught how to be respectful to their mother. Okay? And when you respect your mother, then you show respect towards all women. Okay? So I will conclude with that on this first session. It's been enjoyable, and we're so happy to be back. I'm happy to be back. My name is Nathan Wright, and next week I will have my co-host here, and she will be here to help educate our society on what it is to be human. And I'll conclude with that and have a great, great evening.